And there's guys out there dumb enough to think that me having a heart makes me weak. I really thought that people were smarter than that. And yeah, I am pretty cocky. I am. And I like who I am. Hi, Sky Kitten. Hi, Jinx. How are you? John Durbin, welcome on. I'd say if the number one thing that's different from 5 years ago to now is that now I like who I am. I've made some choices that I don't like, but now I like who I am. I came to terms with me. I like me now. Now I'm learning to like you guys for real. That's the hard part, is liking one another. Team Saroka 100 goes Lens. There's no teams here. Here's the best part about playing this game and doing this is I'm learning now that people see it like a game, which is, by the way, psychopathic. Just to say the least, it is absolutely nuts to believe that treating someone's life like a game is sane in any way, shape, or form. It's pretty much like high school drama gone crazy. But you know what? I've gotten pretty damn good at playing the game. Either way. So here's how I'm going to put it. If people above me are going to come let me know that I'm not that good at the game, then they're not that good at the game. Because if they have time to tell me that I'm not good at it, then they're not playing it for themselves. And they're distracted. I'm learning that in order to respect the little guy and the big guy, I got to stay in my lane. And I'm learning to stay in my lane. How's it going, Space Cadet? I used to stay in my lane. I did, but man, do they work hard to distract you. You know, people who don't stay in their own lane. People that wish they were in yours. Though I remember when I blocked you a lot. I do. And so, while people are busy in the past, I don't have time for that anymore. I just don't. I've learned to grow a bit of a thick skin. Hi, Ashley. How are you? I am having a good day. Hope you are too. Welcome from Boston. How would I describe myself in one word? With one word. That's how. Hi, Tony. It is not cold. My hair is all over the place, so I'm wearing a hat. And then I have one of my gloves on because I, for a long time, had a habit of chewing my nails, and I'm now getting better with it. And wearing gloves helps me in the times when my nerves are a little higher. Quitting is not smart. Moderation's pretty smart. And I'm learning moderation. I'm going to give a shout out to anybody who was on Periscope back in 2017 when I was really first starting to get into it big time, who had difficulty with me being good at it. Man, I'm just going to say on the subject of paranoia that people need to learn how to chill. Little did I know that people thought so many things about me. I was just sitting there broadcasting. I was just sitting there making broadcasts. You know, now sitting here, here's what's funny. I didn't think much about it back then. I haven't been on Periscope too long. Well, stay safe, my friend. I've just learned that the crazies will play, and you gotta let them play. And as long as I don't play with them, I can sit here and talk to myself, and I'm still gonna be okay. You gotta be able to say the same, because if you can't enjoy your own company, other people, you know, they're not really gonna enjoy it either. Just make sure that you don't let people in your company that don't deserve your company. And there are a lot of people that do not deserve your company. My personal opinion, that we may just undercut our own personal worth because we're desperate to be friends with people who do not deserve it. So, JJ, thanks for hanging out. Alicia, welcome on. Brad Russell, Mystic Melanie, Bobby, Kristen, Sheep, Tony Hill, and Kathy, plus 7 others. How y'all doing? I'm visiting for a little bit. See what's different from then as to now, and why people can't figure out how I'm stable. It's because I did have a life before all of the stuff that was done to me in a parking lot in the middle of winter, where no one heard my voice as I was tortured for 18 hours a day without ceasing while the police did nothing. Is that before that, I was not that unhealthy. And I'm just sitting back laughing at this point at all of the madness as it occurs. Finally realizing that there is nothing I can do to stop people who have lost their mind from losing it further. It's just what they do. Like, as society continues to become more difficult to survive in, we have to adapt to that. And there's a lot of people that just aren't adapting to it. They're getting more scared. They're starting to fight more. They're hurting each other more. And they're blaming God, the devil, each other, anybody but themselves. And, I was there for a minute. And then, we decided to stay alive and work things out. And then COVID hit. And that was interesting. It's still interesting. It's unfortunate. But it is how it is. Good. Enjoying my time alone. That's good, Space Cadet. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Alone time. What does that look like? I haven't known alone time in years. Katie, what about you? We'll know alone time soon. We're thinking about doing a 2-bedroom. Just to have a separate space, we could, we're gonna have a good time. Life's getting better every day. What's happening now in my life, since you're, hanging out in our broadcast here, is that I have a life now. I have a real life, and I have you guys. Now I have both. I don't just have one or the other anymore. I have both. Watch out. Be careful. Careful, guys. Okay. That was for an application. The hurricane rain is dumping here. Where are you at? Oh, normal conversation. That's really nice. Who's this dude? He's a normal person. Where are you at, Brad? My gosh. I'll tell you, if I'm going to get normal back in my broadcast, me talking normal is half of it. Working on that. Something else I figured out is how... So, I wouldn't block people, right? And I really should. And then I'd do the block-unblock, because I'd block, and then I'd feel bad. And then I'd unblock, and then I'd feel bad, because I know I should protect myself or whatever. what I succumbed to is the realization that I was not blocking people and then complaining about them. And then, like, that's on me. No matter what unhealthy people say, I just gotta block people. And that's just how it is, you know? Anybody that thinks that you keeping everyone in your life or else you're a wuss, I mean, please get mental help. Because the block button exists for a reason. I'm going to say that simply. It exists on every platform. There's a block button. If there wasn't a block button, maybe I'd say it'd be different. But there's a block button for a reason. Just like if someone's knocking on your door, you can get a restraining order against them if you don't want them knocking on your door. You can do that. That's a thing. And here I am, letting people bang on my door and then complaining about it. And that took years. It took years for me to get to that point of, you know, losing my mind. But man, you know, after getting enough beatings, I realized, I'm like, wait a second. Why am I letting myself get these beatings? This is stupid. So, block button is the moral of the story. So where are you from, Brad? Welcome on, Karen. Space Cadet says fried rice and playing with my new kitten. Awesome. Jinx says you could have like an office in the second room. My goal? Okay. So I was raised, I'm going to keep this simple because I know I'm learning that most people on the internet are engaged in politics and religion and all the baseline stuff, right? For the most part, okay? For those of you that aren't, you get where I'm coming from. And it's cool. It's all good. So I was raised red. I was raised pretty much like Republican side of things. And I got out into the world and I learned more about the Democratic side and the liberal side of things. And so I got a bit of a soft heart, and at the same time, I've got an iron fist. And I've learned how to use it. And in our house, as Katie and I move into bigger spaces, my goal is that we have like a good structured home, at the same time have a separate safe space in that home that is, you know, a unilateral, gender neutral environment. So like something that doesn't speak to being feminine or masculine. It's not an office, but it's not just a hangout space. Something that if I want to go in there, I can go in there. If Katie wants to go in there, she can go in there, and that we can both use it. Because really in our own home, part of what I love about our country is that we can live however we want to live. So we can live both ways, just as long as we can compartmentalize that in a way that's healthy for our family. So, for example, back home, I knew a girl who one of her parents is Jewish and one of her parents is Catholic. Now, she didn't turn out too great, you know, rough case there, but it's still, if you can find a way to do it, it's not like we have separate religions here. We just have separate ways of life, and we're trying to find a way to intermingle that. Religions are pretty, you know, that's a big thing to try and make two things work. So us integrating this, it could work. It's about making it work. Sometimes you just need some alone time. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had it. And it's been a while since Katie's had it too. And, well, no. Since we're working separate, we have alone time. I'm not even thinking that. Because when I think of alone time, I think of my own space. Right? And so we'll get to that point. We do technically have alone time. It doesn't feel like that because we don't have our own separate space. So whether or not we do that, we are still working that out. But I think it'd be good to have at least some sort of neutral space. Hey, Stacy Klein. How do you block them? Just like this. When you click on the name, you click block user. That's all you got to do. We're doing really well. We're doing really well. Keep them focused. Learning that when you rely on the powers that be, they will do their job. When you choose to do it for them, then they're not going to do their job. So for me, I disengage from the unhealthy stuff and I engage in what does make sense. And then you kind of just got to let everybody else do their job. Then things get better as we get our lives based. It begins to make more sense as time moves on. Mystic says, if I get the slightest uneasiness with someone, I just block. Trust your instincts. Yes! I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I was there a long time ago, and I'll tell you, I had people throwing money at me and then say, well, just don't know. You just don't have to block. Like, I didn't know people were this pathetically, like, bureaucratic. It's so annoying. All right? That's how I feel. It's really annoying. Bureaucracy. Like, I get it to a degree, and I think it has a place, but it doesn't exist. It's not something you have to rape into every situation. It's so annoying, and then nobody gets along, and then people who should be rich end up middle class because they're so busy trying to control one another. And they probably could be decently wealthy, but they're so busy trying to control people in their environment, and they don't do the work themselves. You could just do the work yourself, and you don't have to worry about the next person. Brad is from Alabama. Welcome from Alabama. You are the second person from Alabama. Thanks for hanging out. Cleek, welcome on. No, Kate is officially off the platform in totality for good. As long as we're together. And I'm safe to guess that if we weren't together, she wouldn't be coming back either way. So she did just delete her YouTube channel and all that. So it's like, yeah, it's done. It's done. I'd say that was a poor choice from the beginning, both on my part and hers. And I should have known better, but I really wasn't that healthy at the time, and we were both scared and wanted to make sure we had the bills paid. So we kind of just hopped on and gave it a try. But from now on, it's going to be just me. So sorry to say. I mean, I'm not sorry to say. I'm pretty awesome. And I hope you like me as much as I like me, because I like you too. I usually like people. It's unlikable people aren't very likable. So I'm learning to block the unlikable people. How will I afford that? With money. I don't do politics or religion. It never works out well. That's my answer. All right. Enough. Okay. Yeah, the harbingers of death love to find their way into my broadcast. All the wackos. Not that, like I said, if you're not a wacko, then you're not a wacko. But I'll tell you what, if you can't admit to yourself you're capable of being a wacko, then you're probably a wacko. Because you kind of have to admit to yourself that you make mistakes in your life that aren't perfect. And that might be a bit off the cuff. And we all do it. It's just